All right, man. So we back, right?
We are back.
Okay, so we back with another episode. It's starting to get hot in Texas. So
Yeah, ain't it?
we feeling it, you know what I'm saying?
Got the sleeves.
Oh yeah,
sleeves open,
got the Yeezy on, you know what I'm saying? The pars downstairs and finally got it. Took me 2 weeks. But anyway, my name is Fuccgirl Szn.
Adrian Peace.
And this is the Nice Guys Podcast. And we back, man. So we definitely, I'm not sure if y'all noticed, but we got a special guest in the building again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We got
Cauliflower.
Cauliflower. Y'all gonna beat me up. I've been saying it wrong this whole time. Okay, so Cauliflower is in the building. So what's going on, Callie?
Yes, I'm excited to be here. Thank you guys for having
I'm
me.
glad to have you here, you know.
Yeah, I've been a fan. I've been watching.
Oh, for real?
Hey, appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know who's watching.
You guys send the DMs all the time.
For real, that's right.
Yeah. You said it in
I cut back and I'm like, I don't know nobody cuss me out. I had somebody cuss me out on my other page. I was like, oh shit, let me stop sending it to you.
Yeah.
Man.
Let me remove this from this.
Being nice, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, the nice guy. Anyway, but no, definitely want to talk about your journey, you know, your newness or whatnot. I also saw you perform, so I definitely want to get into that and like what exactly you got going on and what's inspiring you to kind of keep doing what you're doing with your artistry. So kind of talk about that a little bit, you know, the scene in Dallas and how that's been working out for you.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Hawaii.
Okay.
And so the culture I bring like with my music and myself is very different than what I feel like is typically found in Dallas.
Okay.
In a sense that I'm very like supportive, collaborative. I want to see other people win. I just have always had a dream though. When I was little and I grew up in Hawaii because I lived there till I was 8.
Okay.
I just always knew something was different because in Hawaii, if you guys don't know, like usually you just grow up to be in the healthcare industry, in construction or like education. And that's like about it because the main focus of the values is like family and growing a family and things like that. But for me, I had a young mom who always listened to like Destiny's Child in the morning or Ashanti. And I was listening to that and I just like loved it so much.
Okay.
I loved the music scene. I was going to a private school too, and anytime we'd have like talent shows, I was like, put me on, and I'd be performing like TLC and like the church.
Okay. Oh, you was in church doing no scrubs? Hey, right. I don't want no scrubs. Jesus don't want no scrubs.
Right.
You want no scrubs either. He was like, hold on, I ain't had no job. Anyway,
No, he was carpenter.
That's the exact song. That's the exact song I performed to.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's the
that
passion.
1-2 step. But I just always had this like passion for performing, and like the entertainment industry just like called to me at a really young age. And so when I had the opportunity to move to Texas, I feel like that's really where everything started. And I started to see that, you know, maybe there's a purpose that I ended up moving here instead of staying down there where you're so like limited to what you're doing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure like with Hawaii, I'm trying to like, cause I'm gonna sound ignorant, I'm from Chicago, so we be saying some ignorant shit. Even though I've noticed since I've left, I still got that ignorance in me in a way. I'll be like, damn, I still be saying that type of shit.
I was somewhere the other day, not to, don't forget where you was going, but
you good.
I was somewhere and somebody was talking about Hawaii and they were like, how many states is it in America? They had an argument about whether or not Hawaii was a US state. Like, it's a lot of people that just like, I don't know how, but just do not know.
But Hawaii's so low key, you know, from Chicago. Like I know people that never left their block. Because the south side of Chicago is so huge. It's a big city, you know. It's not as big as Manhattan, but Chicago is still a really big city. So there's people that don't even, like Young Chop, he never left his block until like Don't Light came out. He never been downtown. I was going downtown to go to work every day. So I'm like, this is crazy. I'm from Illinois, from the suburbs as well. So, but I was going to ask is like, I've heard, you know, you can drive around Hawaii in a day. Is that true?
Oh, probably like in an hour.
In an hour?
Yeah, not even like a day.
That's crazy.
That's nuts.
But it is interesting to see how people like perceive it. Like someone the other day literally was like, so when did you decide to move out of the country, like out of your country? He was talking about Hawaii. I was like, I'm still in my country, but
don't get offended because I just saw something on Instagram about this chick got asked a question about what's 7 times 3, and then the other person asked 3 times 7, and the person didn't know what it was. I'm like, oh my god,
you got down 47.
How's this happening? Like it's wild. So you can't get married. You just gotta understand people come from a certain place. But I think it's dope, and I don't want to be ignorant. I just want to make sure I'm asking the right questions, not to be offensive. Because I don't know anybody else from Hawaii. I've only met 2 people so far from Hawaii.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Which is crazy.
And that was one person yesterday at the volleyball situation. So that's like, you know what I'm saying? I don't meet 2 people from Hawaii. So it's kind of like a mysterious place, or Alaska, Puerto Rico, of course, but never met 2 people, like those 2 locations. I've only met so many people from there. So that's pretty cool. Now, is there a certain type of music outside of what you grew up listening to that your family would like kind of get into, or like would that inspire you as well?
So I had like one other family member who was really into music, and in Hawaii, when you go down there, it's very like reggae music, like island music, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so that's what a lot of my family would listen to. But seeing like my cousin perform and also be in the industry, he was older than me, so I kind of like looked up to him because you know he was that one family member who was also doing what I wanted to do, whereas everybody else was doing what I said before, going like that corporate route. And so it really like inspired me to take it. And he always like fed into me too. Like whenever my cousin had a graduation party, he'd always be like, "Hey, we're gonna perform this song. Be ready." And I'm like, okay. Like I get ready because I'm like, this is my moment.
Yeah.
But again, like I said, like the really huge turning point was when I moved to Texas, because then that's when I feel like it was in like God's plan for me to like be here, because it was something bigger than what, as much as I love Hawaii, like the island could offer me.
Yeah. I understand it because like I left my city and I was like, bro, I love Chicago, right? Don't get it twisted. I love my city. Like, it's plenty of food, plenty of events, especially in the summertime. It can be dangerous and it can also be extremally fun, depending on where you at. You just gotta know where you at. You know, you just gotta, hopefully, of course, the stars above don't have a situation for you as well, final destination. But anyway.
Right.
So I had to move a couple times. So I like meeting new people, kind of getting the vibe. Now, I will say this. Like Bruno Mars, right? So he's from, I know that's probably, you know, like, this is probably gonna be one. But Bruno Mars is from Hawaii, right?
Yes,
so like, do y'all
is.
like, yo, look how big he got? And like, does that kind of resonate with the fam and stuff like that?
You know, I'm really glad you brought that up, because I have this whole ordeal with him, and like, I don't want anyone to take my words like, you know, like take this very lightly, because I don't know too much about what he does, but from like what I've seen or what I hear, he doesn't really give back too much to the island. Like I don't really see him out when there's protests happening down there, like the whole Maui thing going on. I don't really see him talking about that. So don't get me wrong, when he does have concerts there, like my family's all in. Like they're buying tickets. He probably has to open up another night because there's so many people who want to see him. But to me, it's just like, but what are you giving back to where you came from?
Interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
That's
I
major.
never thought about that.
Yeah, you know, it's always good to see people give back and contribute, because like most people from Chicago kind of come back and do some type of program, like with the Donda situation or with Chance and all them cats. Like even Common Sense, he has his own little program, stuff like that as well. So I'm just kind of curious about that, because Bruno got pretty dang big with a lot of his records.
Yeah,
so I was kind of curious about
huge.
that. I didn't know he was from Hawaii. I thought he was just Puerto Rican. I didn't know what was going on.
Right, so
with the Suave. I thought he was just Puerto Rican. I didn't know nothing about that.
You ask anyone around the island, they're like, yeah, he went to Roosevelt High School. That's like down the street from us. But it's just like, I don't ever see him
like being
going back and doing something, you know?
Gotcha. So with that being said, once you become, we speak things to exist, and once you become successful and prosperous, you feel like you need to like establish programs, going back to Hawaii and kind of do some things. How you feel about that?
Absolutely. I mean, I already told everybody this. Like, my plan is to die in Hawaii. Like, I want to go back, retire there. I've always been into politics. It's always been like an interest of mine, and just seeing how, you know, I hope the FBI is not watching this, but like corrupt the government, I feel like in Hawaii is, and like the people who run it, it just fuels this fire for me to like want to do it even more. But I definitely want to get to a point where I'll have like that influence and knowledge and connections and be able to like make a bigger impact than what I am now. But I'm still going back and like doing as much as I can. Like when the Maui thing happened, I was all over the radio and doing like everything I could to give back and help and spread awareness about what was happening. But yes, going back and starting some sort of revelation is definitely in the cards.
That sounds fire. I'm definitely, I know it's going to be a little, because I ask questions, you know, I'll be asking some questions, you know how I do. So I have to ask. Now from that, I know I'm going to a different direction. So I've been kind of I did my observation, a little bit of researches, you know, researches at the end of stuff, a lot of melanated essence, that's what we call it. Still got to make the t-shirts.
Right.
Anyway, so I have to ask about the, can I cuss a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, the Fuccgirl Szn. What's that? So what is the Fuccgirl?
Can't bring me on and not say it.
Okay, yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I want to get. I'm gonna ask you. So with the Fuccgirl season, is there a fuckboy season? Like what is that? How did you come up with the Fuccgirl? So I had to do my research. I was like, what's this about? You know, so what's that all about?
I feel like a lot of people are really curious about like Fuccgirl season. What is it? Why did I choose it? Especially when there's such a negative stigma around fuckboys. So it's like, how are you like turning this into like Fuccgirl season? But I think when I sat down, and it all started, I have to give her flowers. It all started when I listened to Janae's album Trip.
Okay.
Start to finish, love it. Favorite album all time.
Shouts.
But I loved the way how she moved from like being really oblivious to like using her vices to kind of like cope with what she was dealing with to then like moving into other seasons of growth throughout the album to where like when you reach the end of it, it's like she's reached this like ascended version of herself. That's so much better than when she started. And so I was like, you know, when I think of myself and outside of just myself, other people, we kind of all come from that story, right? Where we start out really oblivious, not knowing the world, trying to figure things out, and we might not make the best decisions.
Right.
There's a lot of consequences to the actions that we make that way.
Right.
And I think when I thought of like Fuccgirl Season, I was like, this has to be the start of what I'm doing with my music. Because it's kind of like how we start with the human experience in a way.
I like that.
Where we're learning ourselves and life situations. And so I was like, yeah, Fuccgirl. She's oblivious. She has fun. She doesn't care what other people think. She's just out here. Consequences, who cares? And let's just have fun.
Okay. Did this come from a place? Did this come from any type of trial and error in life or anything like that? I'm just
experience.
I'm just asking because, you know, a lot of times for me, I've shared this as well at the beginning of the pod as well. Like, I used to be super nice. Now I like being sometimes an asshole because this feels so good. Like, I used to feel condemned and feel bad. Like, no, I can't be mean to you. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm R&B'd out. Like, I'm R&B'd out. You feel me? But then I was like, you know what? After I saw August, I was seeing them say love is for suckers. I said, I like that. I'm gonna start going to incorporate some of that because it just helps. But do you feel like it's very liberating to actually feel like you're, you know, incorporating on the Fuccgirl movement? Does it feel very, very liberating sometimes?
I think it is because it's just kind of like be you know? Like I think a lot of people too, when we're going through this, try to be this presentable version of themselves and this perfect version that society wants us to be or how we want other people to perceive us. But it's just like, you know, Fuccgirl Season is just all about you. You might not be in the best light, but you're having the best time. And I like what you said about, you know, the R&B, because I do think like in the past few years, toxic R&B has like become this just like new age thing where everybody's just kind of running like Brent Faiyaz, Summer Walker, you know?
Yeah, there was some toxic. I mean, I think Black was cool. I don't think he was toxic. I think he was more therapeutic.
He had a little balance.
He had a little balance. He had back and forth. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Brent Faiyaz be saying some foul shit. Like, I just feel like Brent is on that level, and then Summer Walker, you definitely got to hit the J. Like, you gonna feel depressed and just need to just relax even more. Like, all right, so chill. And I like Reflexive, but I guess as a musician or an artist, you're a conduit. So like, what do you feel like your music is definitely like being able to make? How does it make an impact in your perspective on other people? And how have you seen like the reciprocation of what you've done?
I mean, I think right now, don't get me wrong, I have a whole 5-year plan. So like, I'm going to get into more impact and like how I want, you know, people to receive my music. But I do think Fuccgirl Season, it's just it's not deep. It's very surface level. So I think the only impact it has is it's giving you a good time. You got good music to listen to pretty mindlessly. And you know, when I come out and do performances and stuff, like I want you to just be entranced in that moment of just not giving a fuck.
I got you.
Well said.
Because sometimes I get that vibe that you was like real nice, and I was like, I'm trying to be nice. You know, is that about right?
Yeah, it is. But you know, again, like I'm gonna get there with telling my story because in the beginning you never really know what makes you like a fuckboy or fuckgirl, right? True. And then eventually you realize like, maybe there was like a little hurt or pain that kind of turned me into this villain. Yeah, like the start of your origin story.
Because villains, we had a whole pod. They have the best powers, the best time. They just live life.
You know what I'm saying?
They don't care.
Yeah, their storyline's crazy.
Yeah. So with that, not even trying to like get too deep, but like, why do you feel like everybody cares so much? Do you think there's a reason for that? Like, do you feel like it's an upbringing thing? Or I mean, I feel like some people do care more than others, but do you feel like it's a certain type of, I don't know, orchestration behind it, like why people care too much sometimes, and they kind of like they have that moment, like, you know what, F all this, I'm about to have me some fun.
Yeah, I do think there's that turning moment. I mean, I think that, you know, nice people, I mean, that's like your podcast, right? Like nice guys, like nice people, sometimes there's a stigma of like they finish last. They're always walked all over. Yeah. Their kindness is just always taken for granted. So I do think there's a point, especially when you don't have really good discernment with like who you're surrounding yourself with or the situations you put yourself in, where you're just kind of like, I'm over it. Like, I'm turning to the dark side.
Yeah. And it feels so good. Sorry. Yeah. If you want to edit that, that's
No,
fine.
yeah, we gonna clip it. We'll clip right straight to the Instagram.
Okay, yeah.
No.
No, I was about to say, my mom like, it feels so sweet. I always say it to myself, but at the same time, I think you gotta have a balance. But it's interesting. I think that's pretty cool. Only reason I'm asking that because like I've been doing the R&B thing for a minute, and I'll listen to my old music. I'm like, what the hell is you talking about, dog? You can't save nobody.
A little too lovey-dovey.
Yeah, I was talking about saving people. I'm like, you can't save nobody out here, man. But I really had this mindset like I could really go out there and change and do all this stuff. And I'm not trying to be pessimistic at all, but I want to be more, I would say, I hate saying realist, but when reality set in, I was like, damn, like I really can't do it. I've tried to do it, and it's affected me in ways that I don't want to be affected. You feel me? So I think that's very interesting. I think we all should have a balance of both. In my opinion, I think you should be able to have some, I could be nice or be kind. I like to be kind. And then I can also be like, no, make it fuck off. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go do me and have me a good time. Because it's like life is short.
Right.
Yeah.
Boundaries. Absolutely.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, we talk like, so for you, we kind of jumped ahead in your story, but you kind of went through some of these right here, you know what I'm saying? But for the people who can't see that, I'm some twists and turns.
He's not dancing.
Going through like kind of a corporate, coming from a corporate background yourself a little bit, getting into PR and doing all of that stuff before getting into music. So like, what was that like? Was doing that more so just a means to make it, or was it like pressure from family or like where you come from as well? Just like knowing that that's the typical roadmap.
Yeah, I love telling this story. Just because like growing up in an Asian household, right? When it was time for me to think of what I was going to go to college for, music was not an option if I wanted the support from my family. Yeah. And so, being a young kid, you're kind of like, man, you're scared to go out in the world, do this by yourself. So let me kind of fall in the lines of what they kind of see for me versus what I want for myself. And if I could do it over again, I would. But that wasn't the case. And so I was like Googling, okay, what's like a good like middle ground in between? And I don't know if you guys remember on MTV, there is this show called The Hills. Yeah. So I was in love with that show. Okay. There was a main character, her name was Lauren Conrad. And so I was like, I grew up watching her. Let me just see what she went to school for and what path she took. Because I liked what she was doing for work. Okay. And so it said that she was going to this fashion institute in California. And I was like, okay, I love fashion, but kind of like unrealistic for me to just like pack up and move to Cali and go to the school. So then I saw she was working an intern at a public relations company. And so that's what got me really interested in PR. So I was like, okay, let me go to school for PR. It looks like fun. Not thinking that TV's just showing you like the glitz and glamour of it all, right? Not like the nitty gritty of what it actually means to be in PR. And so I went to school for that. And like, thankfully I ended up loving it. So I got my degree in public relations. I got an internship at an agency here specifically for music and creatives and fashion because that's what I was interested in. And that really just opened the doors to like what this whole entertainment industry was for me. Like without even knowing that's what it was going to do, I feel like it was just kind of meant to happen that way. And so that's where I met a lot of the connections I have now, and a lot of the opportunities I have now fell from that internship specifically. And so I kind of kept going down that route. I did music a little bit in college, but I wasn't taking it seriously. I was just putting stuff out on SoundCloud, for funsies,
everybody in SoundCloud, shout out to SoundCloud.
Shout out. Still a great resource. Still a great resource. But I wasn't taking it seriously. And so I wanted to like keep doing it for other people, get to learn a little bit more. And that's when I started realizing, okay, there's a lot more to this industry than what people see from the outside. Yeah. And so let me use that to my advantage by getting to know how to work behind the scenes. So then when I was ready to do my music seriously, I'd be able to take everything I learned and like put it towards my own music, which is what I'm doing now. It worked out the way it was supposed to, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. A lot of times we be stressing about why things aren't happening now and stuff like that. It's like, life is just preparing you.
It's preparation. Because I always like, you know me. I'm going for that shit. All right. I'm going to bust my head to the white meat, but it's all, but at the end of it, I'm like, damn, I probably should have took my time with that one. You know what I'm saying? Kind of felt that one through a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But I'm still that type of person. That's why I shout out to Luffy in One Piece. I just be going out there like I got rough, like at the gum
Life will learn you.
Yeah, but now I want to ask as well, there's going to be I don't want to say it's deep, but I just had to ask because as a woman in entertainment, I feel like there's a different set of rules and different things you interact, and you know, you're not a bad looking woman. You know what I'm saying? So like you being nice looking and stuff like that, do you get people that quid pro quo? I said it right. Shout out to
Renee.
Not them quid pro quo, but to Renee. There we go. I said it right this time.
Shout out Renee.
No, but do you ever have like cats that overstep boundaries because of that? Have you ever experienced that?
Oh yeah, early on.
Oh, okay.
Super early on. When I first started going to this one studio, I was very like naive to it. You know, I didn't really like think that it would happen to me, especially because I think I was really young at the time. And essentially what ended up happening was I had this producer and I paid him like $600 at the time, which was like all I had to like make an EP. And every time I went there wasn't really work getting done. I wasn't really like being like guided in the way that I felt like I should have been guided. Now I realize when you go into a studio, like you kind of have to have your shit together versus like hoping someone else does it. So I learned that now. But after all was said and done, there was no EP. I spent the $600, couldn't get it back. And then towards the end, it would just all be like him hitting me up about going on dates and like, and so I was like, this is a little weird, you know, like, was this your motive the whole time? Because nothing really came out of this.
Right. Gotcha.
And so through that, there wasn't any instances that was as crazy as that one was for me, but I did learn like there is a way you have to discern and navigate through this music entertainment industry as like a female artist. And I think you can even like bring that into like the whole pretty privilege thing with like anyone in life.
Okay.
You just have to like walk cautiously.
Okay. Do you think that applies to males too, the pretty privilege? Like better looking dudes get more opportunities and I don't know. I'm just curious.
I think like if we look at it from like a psychological sense, if they have like that confidence, then yes. Okay. Because like confidence is going to get you way further than anything else will.
Yeah,
so if someone's like pretty and they know it and other people tell them and their confidence is through the roof, yes.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
Yeah, because it's some very ugly dudes that's like, I can't remember. Oh man. I'm trying to remember. I'm going to think of it. It's this dude that I'm just like, how did you get this shorty? And I can't think of who they are. But yeah, this dude is like winning. Like
Flavor Flav winning.
Man.
Yeah, Flavor Flav. Shout out to Flavor Flav.
Yeah. No, that's an ugly mug.
He like Mr. Raisin, but he getting played. He had some, from Delicious to New York, he had some beautiful women that's from the love of Flavor Flav. Whatever.
Yeah, I feel like for men, it's a lot more about like confidence and charisma.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, I definitely agree with that because I used to be scared even to record. So I've had to come into my own place of confidence and like really like know exactly what it is. But I mean, as an entertainer or as a performer or as an artist in general, you just have to be confident in what you're doing. Like even like from an artistic standpoint, like a painting and everything, it's like you got to have confidence to just know that it's gonna go, even if you don't know what the direction is. Just you just gotta be like, I got it, and then it becomes infectious. Like people love to be around confident individuals. You know what I'm saying? If you always scared, it's like, bro, if you scared, go to church, man. You need to go pray. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you need to go out there and like make it happen. So I think that's pretty good to understand. I had that understanding and kind of like ask that question because I've heard different stories and seen situations with women. I feel like it's unfortunate because it's some very talented people. And the only reason I thought about this, I was thinking about like Aaliyah and even with the Cassie situation. I was just like, those are people. Not saying that Cassie was on the Aaliyah level. No offense to Cassie, but no, not to me. But from that perspective, like kind of having like powerful men come in and like kind of step in and kind of like lead you in the wrong direction some way. I was kind of wondering like if that ever happened to you in your journey. So
yeah, and I think that nowadays I'm very grateful that there's a lot of more women in the industry who are trying to create that space for like women to be safe and like not feel those pressures or get played in that way. So I do think that it's changing, but of course like everything is just gonna be like small steps to get there. But I wanted to go back to like what you touched on confidence, because what I realized too is that everything's like an energy transfer, right? So what you put into your art is how other people like perceive it. So if you're not confident about what you're making, like how can anyone else really receive that either?
Because I've seen people like performing while shout out to the cats that like to perform and sing or whatever, and I've seen some cats. Motherfucker cannot sing. I'm like, bro, wait, no, hold on, bro.
But they up there belting it out.
And they doing it all the way through, but then it's like, this is the confidence they had.
Exactly.
It was just infections. They still pulling on women. They just, girl. I'm like, man, nigga can't sing, what the hell, but he doing it. You feel me? Like, it's kind of like Keith Sweat, no offense. Love his music, but that man, I'm like, I can't listen to this for another 2 hours, brother. Like, you got to get a different note, you feel me? So, I think definitely confidence is a strong thing to have in its existence, and anything you want to do, you got to have that confidence.
Yeah, I feel convicted myself sometimes when I do that. Like when people ask like about my music, and I'll be like, yeah, I got some old stuff on there. I don't really like. You know what I'm saying? Like I gotta stop saying.
I'm like, you gotta stop doing that. I'll be trying to. I'm like, man, you gotta. Even with me, I said on some stuff not because I didn't think it was good enough. I just know that times have changed.
Yeah,
but it's still a niche. There's still people that would appreciate what you do. So I just been trying to go out there and I'm stop saying trying. I'm going out there and still putting the music out there. So words is really important. You know what I'm saying? And that confidence and knowing what quality you have to bring to the table.
Yeah.
So, but sometimes, like I've read certain stuff and I've done my own, like, you know, quote unquote healing process. Sometimes there's some things from your childhood that you don't realize that are kind of creating that blockade. So that's that shadow work we talked about in one of our podcast episodes. So definitely I had to work on that myself. So shout out to Pixar. I watched that movie Soul.
I heard that was a good movie. I haven't seen that.
Yeah,
watch it. I mean, not saying it's the best or most riveting movie in the world, but it makes you think like, damn, okay, yeah, his childhood, his mom's.
My best friend, like, she preaches that movie, and I still haven't seen it.
Yeah, you got to check it. It hits, man. And I saw it a couple of years ago during the COVID, and I was like, damn, that's kind of deep. Like that's kind of me.
I had that experience with that. I think it's called Inside Out.
The emotion ones.
I think so. Yeah. The emotions.
I haven't seen that one either.
That's deep.
Yeah,
okay, that one's fire.
Disney really be touching.
They do. It's
your childhood traumas.
And then even with like emotional intelligence, I kind of want to get into that because we had I Am Jameson talk about that. But as a woman, how do you feel about a man that doesn't understand what emotional intelligence is? Have you encountered that or?
Yeah, I think here's the thing though, like when it comes to emotional intelligence, like you can't put it in a box, right? Like everyone's at their own level and growth of like where they're at with it. So I don't like judge anybody. I do think again, it comes to discernment of like how you play a role in their life and vice versa when they're not, I guess, up to a standard that you want. But I don't know, like to me, it's just kind of like everyone's experiencing life in their own way. We're all kind of going through life in our own little world.
Yeah.
So like, yes, I might distance myself from someone who I don't feel like is as emotional intelligence as like I feel like I'm at. But at the same time, I think that's the beauty of being in that person's life is to also like help them too.
Yeah, you always say every year, next lesson.
Your next level is always in another person.
Another person, So that makes sense.
That's real.
I've seen myself, I'm like, ooh, when 10 years ago, boy, I'm like,
what were we doing?
I'm still learning, so I'm not knocking nobody out. I'm just kind of curious. Even that terminology, I was just like, bro, emotional intelligence. And I think as a creative, you have to, because we live in emotion when we create. We got to feel. You know, I lived through my emotions most of my life, and I didn't understand the intelligence behind it, but I knew how I felt.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I realized that feeling can also be counteractive, you know, if you react or deal with things within your emotion. Especially as a man, we have a certain level of, you know, whatever. So
I think it's like ebb and flow though, you know, like you could feel like you're super emotionally intelligent and then something that like triggers some sort of trauma you haven't dealt with deep in your subconscious comes out and like, bam, you're back to like square one, you know? It's all the ebb and flow of life.
Yeah, things can be like triggering enough to bring you back to a past.
No, you got it, man. Now, how I'm gonna tie this in is kind of like with being a performer in front of people. You know, I think that level of confidence, but of course that emotional thing, because you have an expectation when you go perform.
Absolutely.
You know, I've seen you perform. You expect, hey, I'm coming in this room. I'm cauliflower. I said it right. You feel me?
You did.
I'm cauliflower. I'm finna, you know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, all right, I see the confidence. In this infection, I'm like, hey, she got some mad confidence. That's it. I don't know what I was doing at that moment. I just know I started looking like, okay, are you dancing? The old girl was dancing. I was doing out there. I was like, all right. But I just always think to myself, like, I've had those moments even for myself. I felt like I was still alone for some reason. You know what I mean? Even though people were like there and I'm doing my thing. So do you ever feel like when you are in that space, then not everybody knows what you're going on in a person. Like when you go on stage, you got to like wipe all that to the side, all those emotions, all that crap. Because all the celebrities that we watch that perform and do their thing, you kind of see them on that perspective. But then it's like, I went to a Chris Brown concert afterwards in Florida. He got locked up. So I knew he was going to jail.
Yeah.
And I kind of, in a way, I don't mean make a joke about it, but he knew he was going to jail, right? You know what I'm saying? And shout out to her, she did her thing. But he wasn't performing and dancing the same way. He know he was dancing. I think he was just trying to get that damn concert out the way so he can go to jail. I'm like, damn, Chris, can you do one more backflip? Please?
Like, please. Throw one more little spin.
Yeah, one more spin, please. Make it one more hee or something. Like, something. Like, damn, that shit was crazy. So, like, to me, I feel like, do you know how to push that all the way to the side no matter what is going on?
I mean, I think that for me, I always tell everyone this too, is like the moment I hear the first note of the first song come on. Because when I start my performances, at least right now, what I have going on is I start facing away from the crowd. So I get like, myself together, get that nervousness out the way. But the moment that first note comes on, it's like go time.
Go time. All right.
That's interesting.
It's go time. And the whole time it's like autopilot, right? Because when I do my performances, it's not like, oh, I'm going there the day of and like just doing it. It's like I had rehearsals. I have a dancer. We do choreography. We're going to rehearsals together. I'm rehearsing by myself at home. I'm recording myself and I'm listening and I'm seeing what I can do better the next time. Because like I said, when people come, I want it to be an experience. I don't want it to be like, oh yeah, I saw her in concert.
Right.
Or I saw her live performance. I want it to be like, dang, like her moves was crazy.
That's even another level of confidence to have like the choreography with it and everything like that. Because there's even more to remember and all of that stuff. I have a hard enough time just remembering my lyrics. I get up there and be like, yeah,
you're right. And it happens sometimes. It happens. That's what I learned from my Deep Ellum performance was like, you just have to know something's always going to go wrong. And how are you going to handle that? And I think that's things as artists is that you have to go out there and get the experience to do it. Because like that show, the sound went out and I was standing up there and I froze because I did not know what to do. I didn't plan for it.
Idea.
Didn't rehearse for it. Not that one. Not that. It was a different one. It was a Deep Ellum Art Fair.
I got you.
And after I got off, my friend 88, he was just like, and he's kind of like helping mentoring me. He's just like, when that happens, like you better know how to like ad lib, make shift, like go with the flow, because people are gonna remember your performance, what you did, and at the end of the day, they're not gonna know something went wrong. Only you know that.
That is true.
So how do you go ahead and be a performer?
Yeah, exactly. That's tough. That's an art. It's an art
it really
you have to
is.
cultivate for sure.
It really. I was at I'm not gonna say the place I went to, but I performed, and you couldn't even hear my music.
Oh
so like, I'm just gonna be singing acapella the whole time. Like, I thought y'all supposed to hear my song. You know what I'm saying? Like in my mind, but I had a moment, I had a diva moment. I was like, man, can you get my note? Right. You know what I'm saying? Can you get my music up anyway? And then the young lady talked to me, but I was like, it was kind of humbling because I feel like open mics to me are like a practice or whatever, so I don't really take them as seriously. Like I should take them a little bit more, but I just kind of like to just sing, you know what I mean? But at that moment, I wanted people to kind of hear my music, you know what I'm saying? It's been a minute, but I definitely feel that because as an artist, you got to just know how to go. And even when I did choral music in college, shout out to Royal University, man, it was sometimes I'm like, that whole row didn't know the words. We was over there just blah, 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 blah. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? But you wouldn't know because we just sounded good, you know what I mean? Like it just kind of still resonated even when we got to the place of the actual concert. So, no, shout out to that, man. Being a musician, you definitely got to know how to just snap into character. So shout out to you for that.
That happened to me too once. Like when you said you had to sing a cappella, it was an iHeart radio festival that I was doing too, which you would think everything would go good with the sound.
Yeah, you would think so.
But then my track just like, it kept going off. Like it just kept going off. It would play for like the first 10 seconds and go off. And I was like, you know what? We're doing acapella. So the whole performance was just acapella.
But at least you had that in mind and you said that confidence to do so. Because some people freeze up and they don't look good. So I had to ad lib a lot at one point too, because I didn't forget lyrics plenty of my lyrics. Because I just, in that moment, you just got a lot of stuff on your mind sometimes too. So
the show must go on.
They got to keep going.
Exactly.
Now, do you have anything you would want to say to anybody that's like really trying to do what you're doing? Like, do you feel like you ever want to be like a mentor for other like up and coming artists, or male or female? Does it matter? Or
I definitely want to give back, but I think like anybody who's wanting to enter in this space of creating art, like anything, music, performance, dance, anything like that, it's really all about learning yourself, allowing yourself to be vulnerable with the process, and really thriving when it comes to growing pains. Because I feel like it could be tough. It can be tough when you're your only fan cheering you on, nights that you're staying up late, when you post something and you don't get the feedback that you're wanting or the engagement you're wanting. Like it could be very hard. So really it comes down to knowing how bad you actually want it. And I think just being like honest with yourself throughout the process. And you have to, I feel like what I'm learning right now is that it's bigger than me. I think a lot of artists out here are like, me, look at my music, look at what I can write, look at what I can put out. But at the end of the day, like with the Bruno Mars situation, right? He like makes all this great music. He gets so big, but then what impact did that leave?
Right.
That makes sense.
I feel like I'm learning that now as well. Just in terms of realizing how important relationships are. because I've always been such a, closed off person, and in part a lot do a lot to like some of the things we were talking about, like that past dealings, past trauma and stuff like that just keep, like I'll get outside of myself, get this like spurt of I'm gonna be social now. You know what I'm saying? I'm outside. I'm on the ground.
Outside, baby.
And then, it's just like, it's just hard to break old habits sometimes, and it'll pull you back. But I've always been a person too that like didn't care about anything but the art. Like I don't care about none of this. I don't want to play no industry games. I don't want to talk to people. Like, but I just want to create, want to put my shit out.
Fakeness. You want the fakeness.
Yeah.
The fake
but
smiles.
Learning that, you do need other people, and it can't just be about you. It's about, you putting yourself out there to help the next person.
Yeah.
Is somebody else going through it worse than you're going through it with what you're doing, and you need to be that example to them that you can step outside of yourself, and even if you have social anxiety, if you have depression, you have all the whatever, you can get it done. So being that, realizing that it's not about you is
right.
huge.
It's the importance of relationships. I mean, you look at artists who really don't show their faces and stuff, like Frank Ocean, right?
Yeah,
it's not all about being out there all the time, but I do think behind the scenes, he knows how to cultivate really, really genuine, authentic, good relationships that have helped him.
Yeah. Otherwise, I guess, people wouldn't really mess with him like they do.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like his mysterious. So that's one thing that I kind of like with social media as an entertainer or whatnot, or a person that likes to be involved in that. Sometimes I don't want to know what everybody's doing all the time. Yeah. Like, because even when I used to watch reality shows, I was kind of like, I really don't want to know that about you, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? I want that mysteriousm. I don't want. Am I saying that right?
You said mysteriousism.
I made that up.
Mysteriousism.
Yeah, I made that mysteriousism. I made that word up. You have to patent that shit.
Yeah.
Put it on the shirt. Mysteriousism. But I just made that up. Anyway, I don't like knowing everything sometimes. I'm just kind of like, bro, like with Neo, like his girl was trying to put him out. I was like, I want to see that.
Oh man, I saw a video of Neo the other day. I was like, I wish I didn't see that.
Oh man.
He's into the polyamory thing. Nothing against people that are poly, whatever, you know what I'm saying? I've had my understandings of it. I've seen it in action, like with the Red Room. Shout out to the Red Room. And I just didn't want to see that part. But then also, like, in terms of, I didn't want to say that with You're the Gentleman, man.
I feel
he had a song called
that.
Integrity. It's one of my favorite songs. I'm like, man, what you
that
had doing
changed
with
my
your
whole
boy
perspective of him for sure.
But then I had an ex that told me that he be, I thought she was just talking that jazz, but she was in that scene with the Ciroc thing and the Diddy parties and stuff, and she was like, yeah, he be out there doing his thing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So he just one way on camera, but he's on another persona when he's in public. So I think that's very interesting. I'd rather just see it when I encounter it versus having to see it all the time. Also, because when it goes digital, bro, it ain't no coming back from that.
Yeah,
shout out to Ray J. It ain't coming back. Ray J, it ain't coming back. You ain't coming back from that. That video you made. You feel me? That once it's out there, and that's another thing I want to talk about too. Like, we have a digital footprint that's out there. And everything you do can resurface. Like, they find stuff from Twitter when they got Kevin Hart, you feel me? So it's like, do you guys feel like sometimes you're on eggshell with certain things you put on social media because people can still go back and like, oh, I'm going to find this.
Right.
Like, he's too popular. I got to find a way to kind of, dimmy him down a little bit. Do you ever feel like that?
That's
you
like
watch your moves.
My struggle a little bit too with social media is the fine line of like, how much do you be you? But also that could be misconstrued to a lot of people, because everyone perceives things in their own way. So I could say something and if someone be like, Kali said this, cancel her.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
and so it's like the fine line between that and also like trying to be marketable, but then not being like your true authentic self. It's hard.
Yeah, I don't want to be like, how you guys know I'm Jock. I'm not doing that shit. I'm gonna tell you that right now, it's not happening. If I'm gonna do some weird, goofy shit, it's gonna be who you see all the time.
Exactly.
So if you don't want to be bothered, just know, don't come on my page.
Right.
That's how I see it. But now I feel what you're saying.
Yeah, no, it's tough, and then to find a balance between like being a music artist and a content creator, because it's like you gotta be both nowadays. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like you're forced to put yourself out there more, and a lot of times when something is forced, it's like you might find yourself in kind of compromising situations or doing something that you look back at later, and it's like, I think I'm gonna take that down.
Yeah, Meek you never coming back from the bunny hop, Meek. You never coming back, Meek. It ain't, you ain't I this sounds bogus, but I didn't know he did that. Like, I've been listening, I've been shouting out Meek. I'm like, man, leave Meek alone. You know what I'm saying? Let Meek live. What will Meek do? And I was like, Meek, what the fuck? Man, what you doing, dog? Why you bunny hopping flipped up the billionaire? But I saw Kanye feeding another Louis Vuitton cat. Like, so that, to me, I just wonder, like, what that is. I know I want to develop a relationship, but I also don't want to lose my, you know what I'm saying, my, what y'all want to call it, because I can't think of the word. I'm about to make up a word.
Essence.
Catch me. My essence.
Yeah.
Right.
But I don't want to lose my essence. I'm about to make up a word for real.
Right.
I'm like, y'all want to look through the dictionary. Nigga made up another word. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, exorcism. Yeah, there we go. See what the I
don't even know how to spell that, but
yeah, we gonna
make
it up. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be made up. No, I just want to lose that part of me. So that's always concerning myself as well, because you see people do that. And I'm like, bro, don't do that. No, you don't have to. You don't have to go that route. But some people want to go take the easier route, you know, because it's a lot of work. So
I think that's all the beauty too of like making sure that before you start this or as you get deeper into the game of it all is like knowing your foundation, like who you are, what your purpose is. Because I feel like if you know your why, every opportunity that comes your way is not always going to be a yes, and you'll know why.
Yeah.
Whereas when you don't know that, you're kind of blindly walking and you take this opportunity that might lead you to getting canceled or being in the wrong light. And so I'm not trying to get preachy, but like I do pray a lot because I feel like everything we're going through is not just physical. Like there's a spiritual warfare going on too, you know? And like what I post on social media, I don't know if someone's trying to prey on my downfall.
Right.
And if I'm not protected through that, then it's just like I leave myself very vulnerable to that.
Yeah. That's interesting. No, I'm glad you said that. Actually, that's a really good point. Because I do wonder, like, they always say, like, people might watch your story, but they don't like anything that you do. So, like, you just watch me just to be like, oh, nah, nigga, that ain't it. You know what I'm saying? Behind the camera, that ain't gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm like, why are you watching me then? Like, why don't you focus on somebody else? That's interesting to me. Because I don't watch people that
people live for it, right?
Yeah, I don't watch people I don't like.
There's watchers, there's doers.
I got you. Yeah, I'm not knocking nobody. I ain't trying to be mean, but I'm just being honest. I don't want to say I'm self-absorbed, but I only watch my stories most of the time. I really don't be watching nobody else. I don't know what that is about.
You watch your own story?
Yeah, a lot. I'll be watching my own shit. I'm like, damn, bro, what
confidence.
You do?
Hey, we call it that.
What is we call that?
She said confidence. We can roll with that.
I be feeling myself, yeah, that's good, dog.
This is a great story I posted.
I like how I move that brush right there.
Sometimes they be like, no, I don't like that, dog. Why you do that?
Right,
what you doing? That ain't it. So I'll be observing myself.
Shout out to Instagram for the archive function, man.
Yeah, that joint is hard. I go back, I'm like, bro, why you do that? No, I ain't posting that again, but I'm like, I like that one. I post that one. That's good. That's good stuff. But yeah, no, I definitely like that. I voted to chop it up to that. Now I'm gonna say as well too. Do you have any like projects, any albums or EPs dropping anytime soon?
Yeah, I definitely have some more singles for Fuccgirl Szn in the works right now. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of in that place as an artist where you know, like you have the season and you need to finish it out, but you're kind of past it. And I'm like, it's a little bit hard for me to like still relate to who I was when I first started doing this, but also there's a mission here, so I need to finish it. Right. But I will say I'm also currently in the works of the next season that like I'm ready to get into, which I guess I can share it.
What's it called?
Exclusive.
Yes, exclusive.
It's called Next Season?
So no, this next season is called it's called Lost Girl Season. And so that's kind of like more of where I feel like I'm at right now with everything going on in my life. But Fuccgirl Szn, you know, we still got some singles, we still got some craziness to get out and have fun with.
Yeah, that Fuccgirl, I was like, whoa. I was like, okay, all right. What's that supposed to be? Hey, you know, she can't give too much now. She doing her thing, you know what I'm saying? That's cool. That's what's up. I think I need to come up with a season for dudes.
Right?
I don't know what I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna think about that though. I'm not trying to bite off you. I'm just thinking.
No, look, if you're inspired, go for it.
Rich nigga season. Let me stop. You know what I'm saying? Rich nigga. I'm trying to manifest the richness.
Please.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
You're doing it for the community. It's your impact, you know?
Yeah, exactly. At the end of the day. And even like when we did the Master Sea, I was telling them about the Master Seafood thing. I wanted to kind of create that. I was kind of liking this other cat. I'm like, man, we could do something similar because this man is cold. What he do? He be chopping. He can slap the shit out of me one time. So I was like, you know, he could do his thing. then I was like looking at it, I'm like, bro, I don't want to be remembered for that. You know? I was like, this is funny, but I was like, I don't want him to like try me all the time and I get beat up in real life.
Right.
Type of shit on some Takashi. What's his name? What's his name? 6ix9ine.
6ix9ine.
Yeah, he got his ass whooped in the damn gym. Snitching on people and stuff. I don't want that because like I feel like there's a fine line sometimes for people. They see this shit and they make it a real thing. I'm like, I ain't trying to deal with all that. I ain't got time to be fighting people every day. You know what I'm saying? I got a shit to do. I got
no demons to fight.
Man, fighting this spiritual battle. I gotta deal with you niggas.
Yeah, for sure. Now, do you ever get any? Do you feel like with women, like your audience, do you ever feel like people try to hate? Do you get a lot of haters?
Honestly, like I don't think so. And I don't know if that's just because like I don't put out that energy, so that energy doesn't come around me. But like there have been times when I know like I feel like collaborating with women in the industry is a little bit harder with men. Like I have had so many songs with guys collaboratively, but when I reach out to other women or try to do collabs with other local female artists, for some reason it's a little bit harder, and I don't know why.
Well, I mean, be honest, I think it just, I don't know. I'm going to sound bogus when I say it, so I'm trying to think of how I'm going to say it before I say it now at this point, because I'm about to say some shit.
I kind of think of it as like is it a Kendrick song where he was like talking about how like R&B girls, they just like don't get along and collab with each other. Like I think of that and I'm like, you know, unfortunately that's kind of true in some instances and I don't know why.
Yeah, that was about to be my question. It's like in general, like the interactions with women, like even outside of music, has it been the same way?
No, I think like with others, it's been like fine. Like we want to support each other, but when it specifically comes to working with other female artists, that's where I find it a little bit more difficult. Because I'll be like, hey, love your like sound, like let's do a collab together, and then just never really get anywhere.
Egos.
But then I think it's a little harder too, right? I think it also comes down to like men, because I realize this, men are very different in the music space than women. Like they have an idea, they're ready to go get it, they're ready to collab, like. Not to say like there's probably like some one-offs as well, but like when it comes to women, I think it's a little more emotion involved, a little more maybe ego involved or something. I don't know, but it's just been for me personally, my experience with it, it's a little bit harder to get female artists to want to do a project or something together.
Yeah,
very interesting.
I've had that experience as well. Like it seems like it's I don't know if it's like because. Like kind of what we had already talked about of having gone through so many of these negative experiences. You know, if y'all like have like kind of a guard up or something, but I found it much more difficult to work with female artists than to work with, you know, with men as well. And
even with the pod, like we've had plenty of, you know, they flaked. I'm like, I don't know what that was about. I mean, a couple people, you know, male have flaked, but this is like the ones I've asked. I'm like, I'm just asking. So I'm just like, come to the pod. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if it's more so like, what do I get out of it type aspect as well too, versus it just kind of being like a collaborative or joint effort. So sometimes I think it's that way as well. Like, what do I get out of it?
Yeah.
All the time. And the people, I feel like for that, because of capitalism and stuff like that, it takes away from the beauty of creating art or being creative and like kind of creating that space sometimes nowadays. So it's just like, that could probably be a part of it too. Cause a lot of people are like, yo, I'm not getting out of it. I don't want to waste my time.
But sometimes I feel like it comes down again to the confidence thing. And what I've experienced of reaching out to certain artists and stuff like that. Like it seemed like, okay, maybe you don't really take yourself serious. And I think sometimes that could be the case.
I think that's a good point to bring up too, because I feel like when I think about it, like I personally have to be a lot in my masculine energy when I'm doing this music thing. Like I have to make sure, even if I'm tired or like, this is like for the females, you know, it's like the time of the month and like your body's reacting differently. Your emotions are differently. Hormones are all over the place. Like I still have to sit there and tell myself, well, how bad do I want this? Like then I have to put myself in that like, because I feel like, you know, men, like you're raised to just be like, no matter what, like you just got to do it.
Yeah.
Whereas women, it's more like, oh, but you're like gentle and fragile and you should be doing this. And like, then for me, it's like, okay, I got to put myself in that masculine energy where I'm like, I'm just going to do it because this is like how bad I really want it.
Right.
I definitely feel like, and you know, I think also with men, we it's a space that we have to be in even still. Because people say like, show your emotions. I'm like, man, fuck that. No. I didn't show mine. And we've had that conversation too. I mitigate how much emotion I'm going to show and do that because at the end of the day, you're still a man. And if you're over there just, you know, about to break down every single time. And can't like people not trying to hear that. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely I kind of understand where you're coming from too.
Shout out to Tyrese.
Respectfully.
Shout out Tyrese.
He had to be R&B though. He had to be R&B dog. Let me see. I was like, and then like Will Smith and them gave him money anyway. But no, I think that's definitely a big thing. That's a testament to your strength too. Because I don't have to deal with, we don't have to deal with that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's that strong. I don't think we even understand. I make jokes about it, but it's like, bro, if something like that, I don't know how the life would just shut down.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm about to die. Like, bro, this shit is happening to my body, dog. I don't know. What life in this one? You know? Exactly. So it's like, So I don't know, bro. So I kudos to you for that because I don't, like we have a bias. That's why I want to have more of a woman president. I appreciate you coming out too. As well.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. You actually asked. I'm like, oh shit, that's a first. Okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? So that's cool. I appreciate that. But then also just thinking about it, I always kind of want to know that journey. I've tried to work with other female artists have kind of like flaked on me a little bit too. So I don't think it's a female thing. It might just be like you said, the ego and stuff like that too. Mm-hmm. So because they'll flake on that, but then show it to another major and go,
right.
I thought your car wasn't working. I thought your tires were out. You seen this video, you know who he is.
Found that Uber login, did you?
Tires is out. Right, exactly. You know what I mean? So it happens. I think it happens to even the best of us until you actually develop that platform. So I think it's a humanistic thing too. I don't think it's just a gender-based sometimes, but it would be nice to see more female collaboration. I think that has a part there too, but I think it's really the ego.
I agree.
I think it's dope to see like, even though it's kind of surrounded in beef, to see like Lotto and Meg and all of them like get together. Even if it is to go even if it is to go break down another woman, but
powerful girls and shit. Girls in the industry.
I think it's cool that they are collaborating with each other at least.
Nicki Minaj is Mojo Jojo.
Yeah,
that's what
right.
You know what I mean? So that's crazy. I definitely see that too. It's like these super teams and shit. I'm like,
right.
Because one person said something, so that is. I guess shout out to y'all for that, but that's interesting. I didn't even think about that. That's kind of far. I didn't think about that. Damn. You don't see dudes like, well, no, never mind. I'll take that back. Because we just saw Kendrick and the whole industry kind of go against Drake. So kind of similar in that aspect as well. Too. How do you feel about that? I was talking about this at the game, watching the game, like with Kendrick and Drake. Who was you vouching for? You can be honest. It's okay. We're not going to be mad.
No, you're fine. What's crazy too is like when all that was happening, I was in Hawaii. So I was very like off the grid.
Chilling, looking at waves.
Right, trying to be off the grid. But then like I have this group message where Kendrick dropped this today. Did you hear this? Look at Drake. Like they were just going off and I'm like, man, this is crazy. Let me just listen. Yeah. So I didn't really hear like everything to say like I know where my input stands. But I feel like everything that I do know, I mean, Kendrick won, obviously. I feel like man's just like went in and like killed it. But when I'm still thinking of like Drake though and his impact in the industry and everything he's done for himself, like granted I know his team and everything like was behind a lot of that. He's still to me like one of the greats. He might not like look like it now anymore, but like I remember going to Walmart to go buy his like album mixtapes, all that when I was like young. So he's always had that impact on me. Granted, I do think he needed this humbling experience because Mans was getting way too cocky with it.
Too confident.
Way too.
And I was telling him like he only jumped in because he just was feeling himself like, Cole, you're not gonna go back and forth with this guy? Like, I'm like, bro, you tripping now. Like, Cole knows what's up. He ride bikes to work. He thinks about this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You over there sipping on them champagne drinks and chilling. You in your own little spot right now.
He was definitely needing this humble pie for sure.
Yeah, for sure. That's interesting. Okay. I gotta ask. We did this before. Top 5. Do you have a top 5 set of artists that have inspired you in your work?
Yes. I don't know if I can get to 5, but definitely I have tops. Janae's number 1. Okay. I mean, like I mentioned her album earlier, if Trip wasn't a thing, I don't know if I really would have had like a vision for myself or my music and her lyricism, just her vibe, the way she heals the world, love her. Yeah. Ariana Grande.
Okay.
Girl's vocals.
Yeah.
Everything she does, like you listen to her live is better than listening to her going in the studio. So I really like to incorporate, if you ever listen to my music, like a lot of harmonies that kind of like go in her range and things like that. I think Kehlani's had a huge impact as well. Just her wordplay and the way she does this like melodic sing rapping. Always love that.
The way she does her pull-ups and My bad. Go ahead.
Now, body, yaddy, yaddy, you know, like amazing.
I have no idea what's going on, but okay, yeah.
You don't follow on Instagram?
Kalani?
Yeah.
That's gonna sound bad.
We gotta look her up.
She sounded like Brandy to me. I don't know what it is. I'm like, I have Brandy already. Brandy's my favorite. I'm be honest. I was just telling her that was my first album.
Yeah.
Brandy, I listen to her every night. Y'all can I don't care. I listened to Brandy every single night when I was 7 years old until I was 9. That album was being played. That album had so many scratches on it. Started skipping and stuff. Right. I couldn't afford the album. I was just listening to Brandy every night.
Yeah.
I couldn't go to sleep without listening to Brandy. I'm dead ass serious right now. So that was one of my favorite artists.
The Voice.
Yeah, no, she's beautiful voice. Definitely a legend. And then I would say, I think I just had it, and Ashanti definitely played a part just because like I listened to her when I was young. I remember getting her first album with the rose on it and just like being so inspired by her sound and just like how versatile she is. And then more recently, who I've really taken inspiration from is Victoria Monet.
Really? Okay.
I've always known her because she used to songwrite for Ariana Grande, and not a lot of people knew that.
Yeah, I knew that.
Like, if you look at Ariana's personality 5 years ago, she literally was Victoria. And now that Victoria's out with her own personality, I feel like Ariana's kind of like got her own unique personality now. Yeah, but like Victoria is a performer, man. If you've never seen her perform, like how she dances and sings and just like captivates a crowd.
Yeah, she does her thing.
She's fire.
I think she was fine. I'm like, yeah, she's fine too. Yeah, she's fire though.
That's why I say fire.
Yeah. I like to see her relationship with her kid too. Like that shit is fire too. Like her having her daughter and like really pushing out there because a lot of times they don't really want you to perpetuate being pregnant and having a kid because it kind of takes away from the sex appeal or whatever the situation is or whatever. I don't know. But
and let's also mention the fact that she's like in her 30s too.
Yeah,
and she made it in her 30s when people think you have to be young in your 20s to make it.
Exactly.
Yeah, she goes hard.
So, yeah.
I enjoy seeing that. Okay. I'm glad to hear your top 5. That's fire. You already know. So it's that's a good top 5. That's fire. Okay. So anything I think we kind of getting to a place, of course, where we're kind of closing things out. Is there anything that you want to kind of ask us about, any questions? But I feel like we've been interrogated. I'm just opening it up. You know what I'm saying? If you have anything you want to throw out there.
I did always have this question, and I want to know, like, what, and maybe you guys mentioned this on an episode, and I might have missed this, but what's the purpose of the Nice Guys podcast? Like, what are we doing?
We probably both have an answer for that.
Yeah, I mean,
the official answer.
No, it's all good. No, I kind of came to AP about it because I was just sitting there thinking, like, man, Nice Guys shouldn't have to finish last, and like we should definitely have a play on words with that. Because we have a voice too, and I feel like people are supposed to downside that situation. Like, be seen as a doormat. I wanted people to kind of see that we have stories and feel confident and create a platform for people to feel like they're just as important as anybody else. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much the Nice Guy side of it because we don't always get to say so until we become a fuckboy. Yeah. And then, he's a bad person. He's a naughty one. Like, no, bro. I was nice for a long time.
Right.
I've been done bogus. I tried to do the Tevin Campbells and the Jesse Powells and all that good stuff. It ain't work. Right. So now I gotta do me. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm still nice with it. You know what I mean? I feel like the play on words to Nice Guys is that we have talent just like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? And just building that confidence and kind of interpersonal development like I talk about as well too. So that's my answer. I'm not with it.
Yeah. No, that's good. Yeah. That's the official answer. And I 100% agree with that. Me, personally, I just wanted to take advantage of this opportunity to prove that, especially as a Virgo, that I'm one of the brightest minds of our generation. And,
such a Virgo thing to say. Wrap it up.
Hey, he said that. I ain't say that. I could say I'm a Leo, but I ain't say all that. You can tell who the Leo guests are. Right. You can tell. I'm like,
you can. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Oh, that I'm a Leo? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people that I rock with, I done brought on as guests. Like, most of them cats is Leo.
Right, yeah.
Actually, now, when that boy came out, I was like, damn, man, you brought $3 million still coming outside, nigga.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. You feel me? So it's just wild shit you see, man. But it's all good. It's all good.
But that was your answer, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Shout out Virgo.
Yeah. Are you a Virgo?
No.
Oh, damn.
I'm a Scorpio. Shout out Scorpio.
I
don't like that. I don't like that.
So we had another Scorpio. Anyway, I'll leave that alone. But anyway, definitely, you know what I'm talking about right now. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? To a computer console near you. You will see that. Yeah, it's a very interesting interview. But anyway, definitely glad to have you on. glad to be able to share this space with you, have you talk about your journey, because like I said, everybody's a star. Everybody deserves to express themselves and have that platform that you see with other podcasts and these major, whatever. I think everybody deserves that. You know what I'm saying? Especially in my journey and seeing things and kind of developing. I like to hear other people's stories. Inspiring.
Yeah.
So
About
inspiring.
because you putting in so much work lately, and to have seen a lot of your journey has been a pleasure as well. So
a lot of it started in this room,
right? Yeah,
which is crazy.
Yeah, I started mine too. I was like, damn, bro, this kind of wild. Yeah, coming back, circumvent, whatever.
We gonna do a documentary on this house one day.
No, for real. A lot has happened. But thank you guys for having me. Honestly, absolutely. I hope that your podcast thrives and you guys continue to like make an impact and help other creatives out there for sure.
Thank you. We speak it, but it will.
It will.
It's just taking some time. Y'all need to start following us and subscribing. Put some comments, even if it's good or bad. I'm telling you, just say whatever. I'm not gonna Chris Brown you. It's all good. I'm gonna listen to you. I might write it to myself, like, man, hey, AP, did you see that? You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna come back at y'all because y'all deserve to say whatever y'all need to say. But again, thank y'all so much. My name is Jacques Wright.
Adrian Peace.
And this is the Nice Guy Podcast. Yeah, cauliflower. Sorry.
Don't forget me.
There's no cauliflower in there. And this is the Nice Guys Podcast. Shout out to Collie for coming out. And y'all be peaceful. Stay blessed. Till the next time.
Peace.